Is America arguing while the fire spreads? And are you ready for what comes next?
Remember, we fight for what's right because it's time to go right.
This is not a whisper anymore. This is not a quiet warning. Something's shifting in America, and everyone can feel it. Welcome to Go Right with Peter Boykin! Constitutionalist for liberty, where truth meets pressure, and pressure creates fire. Is this a frog boil? Or a full blaze? Are we watching slowly burn? Or standing in the flames? Welcome to Go Right. Turn the lights on bright. We don't run from truth. We step into the fight. Go right, voices rising tonight. Is this a frog boil or a full blaze? Ignite.
Is America arguing while the fire spreads? And are you ready for what comes next? This is hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. Not playing little light games anymore. It's not just a slow burn. It's a frog boil. Look around this country. We keep acting like these flashpoints are somebody else's problem. Minneapolis, Portland, Charlotte, Durham. We talk like it is far away until the tension rides the interstate right into our own backyard. And here is what I am seeing that should bother every honest person on every side of this. Some people want to pretend there is no problem at all, like enforcement is always clean and crowds are always wrong. Other people want to pretend the federal government is automatically evil and every agent is a cartoon villain. Both of those lazy stories get people hurt. We have real deaths being argued over like they are memes, like they are content, like they are points on a scoreboard. That is not how a good community behaves. Even if you believe an officer acted lawfully, we do not celebrate people being shot. That stops us as a people. That is where the line is supposed to be. The internet has trained too many folks to think politics is posting. Posting is not leadership. Posting is not local governments. Posting is not public safety. Clicking share does not secure a neighborhood. A meme does not calm a crowd. And a hashtag does not protect a family. And North Carolina already knows this is not theoretical. Durham and Raleigh have seen protests tied to ICE activity and federal actions. Charlotte has seen communities shut down by fear and tension. Enforcement numbers have climbed. Debates that started on cable news are now playing out in real streets with real consequences. And when pressure rises, do you know who gets tested first? Not Washington. It's your county, your sheriff, your county commissioners, your city council, your school board and its school policies, your emergency coordination, and even your jail capacity. And that is where things either hold together or fall apart. That is why local leadership matters more than anything right now. If Alamance County, North Carolina, where I live, wants a good community, we have to fight to keep it. Not with chaos, not with cruelty, not with fantasies about violence or collapse. We fight for self-government, with competence, with adults in the room. And this matters to you and your own communities as well. We need leaders who keep order while respecting rights. Leaders who can coordinate with state and federal partners without surrendering local accountability. Leaders who know how to de-escalate instead of lighting matches and walking away from the fire. Because if we do not govern ourselves, someone else will do it for us. And they will do it their way, not ours. And that is how communities lose control without even noticing it happening. So get smart fast. Get involved locally. Know your policies. Know your leadership. Show up to meetings, ask hard questions, and demand receipts. Build the kind of county where law matters, rights matters, and human life is not a punchline for either side. This is bigger than ICE, bigger than Trump, bigger than one protest or one headline. And if we want that, we have to fight to keep it. This is about whether we still know how to live together without tearing ourselves apart. And this is where Go Right comes in. Go Right's not a tribe. It is not blind loyalty. It is not a party or a personality. Go Right means choosing responsibility over outrage, self-government over slogans, and order with liberty, not chaos or with excuses. It means doing the hard work locally before someone else does it for you from far away. We want good community. We want a good community. We want a stable future. And we want a country and county that can handle pressure without collapse into cruelty or chaos. And if we want that, we have to go right, not play little light games anymore. This has been Peter Boykin, and this is #GoRight. You can check us out on GoRightNews.com, GoRightNC.com, and PeterBoykin.com.
Not playing little light games anymore. Something is shifting. You feel it. You know it. Welcome to Go Right with Peter Boykin, the Constitutionalist for liberty. Snare on rosin! Full-blown shot! Roof outrage loud! Silence deeper! Stories chosen! Truth gets cheaper! Lights flash! Headlines blaze! Is this a front or a full blaze? Front boil, full blaze, hands up in the firestorm haze. Front boil, full blaze, truth cutting through the craze. Crowds move fast when headlines call. Some lives matter, some don't at all. Microphones chase the loudest flame while silent victims lose their name. Not about race, not about hate. It's about truth before too late. Take a breath, feel the pressure. History turning without measure. Durham streets, Carolina nights. Local lines become the fight. Is this a frog boil or a full blaze? Are we lost inside the hands in the air when the beat breaks through. Truth hits hard when the bass drops too. Front ball, full blaze. Wake up from the slow burn phase. Front ball, full blaze. Truth hits hard when the bass drops too. Front ball, full blaze. Wake up from the slow burn phase. Selective outrage changes everything. When compassion becomes conditional, humanity becomes political. We stop falling for the trap. We stop becoming just like them. Not playing little light games anymore. This is Go Right with Peter Boykin.
Is this a frog boil or a full blaze? And are we ready for what comes next? This is hashtag Go Right with myself, Peter Boykin. Not playing little light games anymore. It's not just a slow burn. It's a frog boil. Something is off in this country, and most people feel it even if they do not know how to explain it yet. We are watching outrage explode in some directions and fall completely silent in others. We are watching leaders rush to microphones for certain deaths, certain narratives, certain political causes, while other victims disappear in the footnotes, police blotters, or are ignored entirely. That imbalance is not accidental. It is cultural, it is political, and it is dangerous. Across the nation, ICE operations have become a lightning rod. Protests erupt, meetings are called, statements are demanded, governors weigh in, media panels convene, and entire movements mobilize in hours when ICE acts or when federal enforcement aligns with something President Trump supports. But now pause. Take a breath. Ask the uncomfortable question. Where is that same outrage when Americans are murdered by people ICE was trying to remove from the country? Where are the candlelight vigils when illegal aliens kill nurses, mothers, teenagers, or working people just trying to live their lives? Why? Why is it that when the people they want to protect do something evil, it gets minimalized, reframed, or ignored? But when something happens involving ICE or Trump, all hell breaks loose. This is not about race. This is not about hate. This is about selective morality. We ignore the victims of illegal aliens. Many of them were nurses. Many were caregivers. Many were workers, parents, and neighbors. We do not see tributes. We do not see talk shows honoring them. We do not see former presidents lining up to make public statements of sorrow the way they did for the most recent high-profile case tied to ICE. And that contrast matters. It tells Americans exactly whose lives the cultural and political elites think are worth national mourning and whose lives are expendable. So let's talk about what's happening with ICE right now. In recent weeks, we've seen intense national debate and protests related to federal immigration enforcement. In Minneapolis, 37-year-old ICO nurse Alex Jeffrey Pretti was fatally shot by federal agents during an ICE-related operation on January 24, 2026. His death sparked protests, bipartisan calls for an investigation, and nationwide attention. And that shooting followed another fatal incident earlier in the month during immigration enforcement operations, which further fueled outrage and raised concerns about federal tactics. Now, large crowds have protested in multiple cities, not just Minneapolis. Demonstrations erupted in places like San Francisco and New York, reflecting a broad anti-ICE response across the country. And these events triggered bipartisan demands for transparency and accountability, including from lawmakers who typically support strong border enforcement. They're calling for independent investigations into whether federal agents acted properly. Federal law enforcement, including ICE and Border Patrol, has reportedly scaled back some deployments in Minneapolis and in the immediate aftermath, amid continuing tension between state and federal authorities. This response has been loud, immediate, national. Now let's contrast that. Here's the part North Carolina should not ignore. This is not just Minnesota. North Carolina's already seen protests tied to these national incidents. Durham saw demonstrators gather in response to the Minneapolis shooting. Multiple North Carolina cities, including Durham and Raleigh, joined nationwide anti-ICE protests after shootings in Minneapolis and Portland. Charlotte has been a major pressure point amid federal immigration actions and community response, with raids, protests, and widespread fear extending beyond non-citizens. And the enforcement footprint is not theoretical. ICE arrests in North Carolina more than doubled in the first 9 months after President Trump's inauguration. Arrests shifted in some cases towards people with less serious or no criminal records. And another analysis reported more than 3,300 ICE arrests statewide during that early period, many occurring through county jail custody pipelines. This debate is not distant. It's not distant. It's already here. Now, why does this matter for Alamance County, North Carolina, where I live? Now, Alamance County sits right on the line between this is a big city problem and this can never happen here. That line is imaginary. Alamance has already been part of the statewide and national immigration enforcement debate. The Alamance County Sheriff's Department announced it would end its agreement to house and transport ICE detainees, tied to the passage of a law and jail capacity pressures. At the same time, ICE continues to list the Alamance County Detention Center as a detention facility, underscoring how complicated and contested these arrangements are even when local policy shifts. Now, Alamance has also seen protest activity connected to immigration detention. A vigil and protest outside the detention center led to litigation and a settlement, proving that civil liberties, policing decisions, and protest response are not abstract issues here. So if protests accelerate again, or if federal enforcement surges again, Alamance is not watching from the field. Alamance is on the field. And that is why local leadership matters. When tensions rise, it does not start in Washington. It starts at the county level. It hits sheriffs, county commissioners, city councils, school boards, emergency services, and detention centers first. If those leaders are weak, ideological, or more interested in optics than outcomes, communities fracture fast. And that's why we need consistent compassion and responsibility. We can disagree on immigration laws. We can debate enforcement strategies, and we should. But if we claim to value human life, that value must be consistent. We cannot justify loud outrage when one loss fits a political narrative and shrug when another does not. We cannot celebrate violence when it happens to people we dislike and ignore it when it shatters ordinary families. Too many people have substituted memes and slogans for actual self-government. That stops us as a people. That stops decency. And when outrage becomes selective, humanity becomes conditional. Now, what we must do here in North Carolina, and honestly across the county and country, we have to do better. Not just rhetorically, but practically. We need leaders at the local level who can balance respect for the rule of law, protection of individuals regardless of status, attention to public safety, and accountability that prevents tragedy instead of exploiting it. We must show up to council meetings. We must communicate with our sheriffs. We must elect commissioners, county commissioners, who represent their communities, not narratives. And we must demand compassion that is applied equally. Because if we do not wake up politically and push back, not just against bad policy, but against bad behavior on all sides, this frog boil becomes a full blaze. And when that happens, no one gets spared. We want a good community. We want a stable country and a stable county. We want a future where human life actually matters. That means we stop falling for the trap. We stop becoming just like them. And we start governing ourselves again the way the founders intended. Not playing little light games anymore. This is Peter Boykin, and you can check out us at gorightnews.com, gorightnc.com, and peterboykin.com.
You never believed you tried to break me, but look where I am now, still standing strong. You threw your words, you thought they'd shake me, but the silence taught me where I belong. There were nights I couldn't breathe, dreams fading quietly beneath me, but I kept walking through the pain, found the sun inside the rain. Every tear became a prayer, every scar proved I was there. You can't undo what I've become. I'm still rising with the morning sun. I'm still standing, unshaken, unbroken. Every wound, every word left unspoken. You try to pull me, try to drag me down, but I'm still standing stronger now. Shadows try to steal my light, but I learned to dance with the night. The echoes of doubt, they fade away when I hear my heart say I'm okay. You can't steal my song, you can't change who I've become. I found peace in the fall, and I'm stronger through it all. Still standing, unshaken, unbroken. Every dream I lost has been awoken. You try to break me, but somehow I'm still standing strong. Still standing strong. Still standing strong. Still standing.